German Simon Corney talking to Latics player today. Simon, FA Cup run, you must be delighted.
Delighted and upset it's all over now. Fantastic run that the boys put together and just some amazing times and the reason why we do this, I guess.
It all came on the back of the surprise departure of the manager, Paul Dickoff, but Tony Phillips, he stepped up to the mark.
Yeah, he has. Paul Gang, I don't know whether it's a surprise. We lost 9 games out of 10, but I think we all knew that Paul had got to a point where it wasn't right for him to continue. And Tony's come in and done a fantastic job. 3 wins out of 3 in the league. Couldn't have asked for any more. A great draw against Everton and also a good performance at Goodison Park as well. So, we're very grateful for Tony, who has really, if you like, stepped into a role that he's not particularly comfortable with. Although I do want to say at the same time that many people are discussing, should Tony stay, should he not stay, does he want the job, does he not want the job. I speak to Tony every single day. I did even before he was the interim manager, although interim is probably not the best word at the moment. But Tony is happy to stay as long as we want him to stay. What Tony has said was he does not want to be a manager long term. So that means he doesn't want the job for next year and the year after. But if we say it's 1 more game or 10 more games or to the end of the season, Tony's more than happy to keep going. Ideally, if we could bring in somebody, then he would step aside. But at the moment, it's really tough to find the right person. We've had loads and loads of applications, as I've stated before. But it's hard to find somebody that fits in with exactly what we want to do. And a big part of that is Tony's youth setup. So whoever does come in has to buy into what he wants to do as well. So Tony's given me his own recommendations as to who he would like to see here. And we are talking to 1 or 2 people. We always have been. And hopefully we'll have an announcement soon. But at the same time, there's no rush because if it's not broken, as I said before, we're not going to try and fix it.
It's imperative, though, that we take this cup form into the league now, isn't it?
Yeah, I think we've done that anyway. Look, this squad, I've got to be careful what I say here, but in my opinion, with the likes of Barnard up front and Obita on the wing and Montana coming back and Simpson and Smith showing great form, your midfield is, I think, as strong as any in this division. Crofty's been outstanding the last few games. I really don't see a team as good as us at the moment, and I'm not even talking top 6. I think we are up there with the very best of them. So, you can never be too certain in football, as we know, but I'm very comfortable we'll be okay. If this team is not okay, then something is very seriously wrong. The boys are extremely confident. They're very comfortable with each other at the moment. They're very comfortable with Tony. They're loving his training sessions. So we should be okay, but you never know for certain.
One of the problems about not having a permanent manager is we have to look to next year for contracts. Will the board be doing that, or will they be leaving it for the new man?
We're leaving it to Barry Owen. No, I'm just joking. I didn't mean that, Barry. What we are doing is we're talking to Tony. I think, look, even the fans know who we want to keep and who we don't want to keep. But it is funny how things do change, because 7 or 8 weeks ago, there would have been a few names on there that we wouldn't have wanted to keep. And I include myself in those discussions. And then things do change, but you have to be careful not to get too carried away. You have to be careful not to jump on the bandwagon. In 1 or 2 cases, it's out of our hands anyway. A couple of the players, their agents have already indicated to me that they won't be staying. What can you do? And it's not a case of money. And even if it was a case of money, we are not going to be able to compete with the championship clubs that may offer these 1 or 2 players contracts for next year. You just cannot do it. It's not a case of doing our best or trying to break the bank. It's impossible. So, in those situations, it's out of our hands. But there are 4 or 5 that we need to tie down. We know that, and we're going to try and tie down. But again, if we were to start the season next year with the basis of what we've already got, which is, I think, the CSAC, Weslowski, Tarki, who else have we got under contract? Montano. We've got a very good base to build from, and then if we have to build again, so we have to. Ideally, we'd like to try and have some more continuation in the squad, but if we would have discussed this 7 or 8 weeks ago, as I said, we probably would have said, well, let's get rid of most of them and start again and just use the players that we've got under contract. So it's very difficult. It's a changing target the whole time.
And attached to that, and I hope you don't mind me asking, Simon, Jordan Obita, it could be his last game for us on Saturday, or are we looking to extend that?
No, we are going to extend Jordan. And again, to have the pace of two wingers like Jordan and Crofty with Montana coming back, I don't think there's a better set of wingers in the division. So that's exciting news, and he'll be here for at least another month, Jordan.
And there's feel-good factor in the town through the cup run, and the news of the new stand, and that's also important to us.
Yeah, it's been a good few months because we got confirmation a couple of days ago that the council are going to hear the planning application on April the 10th. So they've specially convened a meeting for us, which is great news. And once that goes through, and I'm pretty confident it will, and the fans have been magnificent writing in and showing their support, we should hopefully be able to start building around June, maybe July at the latest. So it's around the corner.
It's very important though that the fans don't think it's a done deal. They need to support this, don't they?
It's not a done deal at all. They have to support it. It's also not a done deal financially. We are quite close to getting it done, and the money from the cup run is going to go a long way towards helping the build. But it's it's a very expensive item to build, if you like. It's many millions of pounds. So we do have a ways to go, but I'm pretty certain we'll start building shortly.
And you've gone on record as saying the fans were absolutely magnificent over this cup run, and especially at Everton, where their directors were impressed.
I must have had every single one of the directors could not believe our fans. I couldn't believe it. I thought they were good in the first leg, especially those at the Rochdale Road end. But against Everton, I hardly saw the game because I was watching our fans, and they just did not stop for 90 minutes. It was incredible. But Bill came right, and at least 5 of their directors came up to me and said they were the best fans they've seen at Everton literally for 10, 12 years and probably longer. And I think, the players' recent form has definitely been down mainly to the fans. And the players will tell you as well. That's what I tell fans the whole time. If you go on players' backs, they cannot play. They're young kids, most of them, and it affects them. But when you support them the way they have been supported the last few weeks, it really is. It's a cliche, but it's true. It is the 12th man for us.
Over the league games, we have seen the gates creeping up, and it'd be great if we could just keep hold of 1,000 of those extra fans.
That would be nice. We're back on the map via the cup run. I think a few people will show up. Obviously, we've done some promotions to get a cup ticket. They've had to come into a game. But I think against Sheffield United we'll get a nice crowd. And if we can keep our form going and if we at least put in a very good performance, then hopefully they'll keep coming throughout. And that's what we need. This club can only survive, I say it every time, it's probably a bit boring now, but this club can only survive on gates. There's no other way for any club to maintain their future.
I'm going to play devil's advocate with you now, Simon. Where do you see Oldham Athletic in 2 years' time?
Where do I see Oldham Athletic in 2 years' time? It's a good question, Gordon. I don't know. I used to make predictions, and now I think I take it day to day. Actually, I take it hour by hour.
We'll have a new stand.
I'd like to. We'll have a new stand. There's no doubt about that in my mind whatsoever. That's why I'm here. I want to get the stand built. If after the stand's built, I leave, I can leave with my head held high and say that we've achieved. Well, some people may argue whether we have achieved anything. We started in Division 1 and we may end up in Division 1. But I like to think that we've got a stand which can give us an income which can help project this team towards the top of this division, and maybe with the right manager in place, give us an opportunity to get in the playoffs or automatic and finally get championship football. But who knows?
What would happen if we actually got relegated?
I'd also go. No, I would. I think I would look at relegation as failure, and I think that personally I'm not sure I could deal with that, or I'd be the right person. I would say that I've failed. I've taken a club that was in Division 1 and it's gone down under my watch, and I don't think I'd be here if I'm really honest with you. So I don't want to contemplate that because I love being here. I think it's it's just a great club. It has got a good fan base. It's got a lot of problems too, but most clubs have. And I think that a new stand and Division 1 football is the minimum requirement for this town.
Simon, you're certainly not a failure. Without you, Oldham Athletic would not be here. Thanks for talking to us.